Welcome back to my channel. Now, do you remember the whole Coyote Pass fiasco? That drama was really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the financial games Kody and Robyn were playing against the wives. Believe it or not, the mismanagement and outright fraud they committed was only a small piece of a much bigger puzzle. The very thing that allowed them to move into that mansion in the first place and then trade up to an even bigger home in Flagstaff. How did they do it? By taking money from Kody's ex-wife Mary and, yes, also taking funds from Janelle. With Janelle, it was supposedly a gift, complete with signed gift letters, so she kind of resigned herself to the fact that the money was gone, there was nothing she could do. But Mary's situation is completely different. The money Kody took came from a property he and Mary jointly owned. The Vegas home they sold had both their names on it, so the equity should have been split as a marital asset. Instead, Kody walked away with all of it. Here's the kicker. The house sold for $574,000, and they had originally purchased it with a $47,000 loan. That means there was likely $130,000 in equity Kody just took for himself and funneled into a home for Robyn. Because Robyn was legally his wife, she didn't contest it. She accepted it, and to this day denies owing Mary a penny. And now, it's all coming out in this tell-all. Do I think Robyn is submissive? Absolutely. And that works perfectly for Kody. She goes along, co-signs his moves, and takes what she wants, without questioning a thing. Here's something interesting. TLC is letting Jen sit on the couch with Mary. Usually, that space is reserved for partners. But Jen, Mary's best friend and fiercest defender, is getting a chance to respond to all the horrible allegations Kody has thrown her way. He's blamed her for convincing Mary to leave him, for being involved in catfishing drama, even called her a bee. Totally awful. But if you know Jen, you know she sees things clearly. She sees Kody for who he is, Robyn for who she is, and she helped Mary wake up to the toxic mess they were creating. Kody, of course, hates her for that. Jen isn't afraid to voice her opinions, stand up for her friends, and call out abuse and fraud when she sees it. Meanwhile, Kody has a submissive wife enabling it all, and getting what she wants while doing so. Mary was more than willing to engage in a heated conversation. Emotions included, of course, since she used to be married to Kody. But it seems Mary's gloves are off now. She's done with all the nonsense. For years, she's been disparaged, maligned, slandered, and scapegoated, labeled the abuser, while Kody escaped accountability. She was made to feel guilty for struggling to accept her legal husband, fathering children with women outside their marriage. Even though Kody claimed Mary chose plural marriage, I've never really believed that. It always seemed like Kody pushed it on her, bringing women in without her knowledge, treating her poorly, punishing her for it, and then letting himself and the other wives scapegoat her as the abuser. Sure, Mary may have had her own issues, but as a legal wife, I can understand her anger. Watching Janelle evade accountability for her own decisions has been frustrating. If everyone is supposed to be responsible for their choices, then accountability should apply to all the adults, not the kids, who never asked to be born into this polygamous situation or to witness these dynamics. The anger should be aimed squarely at Kody. And I've never understood why no one really calls out Janelle, asking, "Didn't you see why Mary was upset?" What frustrates me is how Janelle acts like arguments and yelling are somehow catastrophic. Is it just easier for her to avoid acknowledging her role? Accountability matters. If Janelle could just say, "Yes, I married her husband, and that caused conflict, and I'm partly to blame," it would go a long way toward healing. Mary is done protecting people, and this is just one example. I'm not anti-Janelle, but I see so many comments blaming everyone. And I get it. Many of you are moms who can't imagine your kids growing up this way. As a parent, I can tell you, the moms had a duty to protect their children, and all of them contributed to unhealthy dynamics. Even if some have pulled themselves out, empathy is lacking. Everyone becomes focused on their own experiences of abuse. Mary has acknowledged her missteps. Christine has taken accountability. But Janelle? Robyn? Kody? Not so much. Kody has even testified he never loved these women and never cared about them. A stark reminder of the damage. And this dynamic extends to the broader polygamy debate. Men like David respond to Kody, recognizing that plural marriage often exposes men's ignorance. They think they have it all figured out, but polygamy proves otherwise. Kody's response? That polygamy teaches men they don't know anything. Okay, here's the thing. If Kody really believes in polygamy, then fine, go live it. But he wants it both ways. And I still think Kody genuinely believes he's tied to Christine. He sees her as a wife. He probably doesn't even acknowledge any of these so-called spiritual releases and still thinks of himself as a king. Now, Kody defending polygamy to suggest he knows more than David? That's just absurd. Any man with real feelings, compassion, or empathy would never treat women the way men in polygamy routinely do. My husband watches this show and keeps asking, what kind of man would do this to a woman? And honestly, no man I know, respect, or want to know would ever treat women this way. David doesn't need to live in polygamy to recognize that Kody is in the wrong. It's obvious. And let's be clear. Every single penny from that Vegas house went straight into Robyn's home. This isn't about me. Robyn wanted polygamy. She begged for it. But does it make sense that Mary could trust her? Absolutely not. If your wife is having an affair or taking what's yours, that's your business. Here's what's exciting about this tell-all. Mary's gloves are coming off. And finally, Kody and Robyn are starting to get what's coming to them. David sits on that couch, calling out Robyn, pointing out that while she claims to want polygamy, her actions completely contradict it. She divides the women, steals money, manipulates Kody into divorcing Mary for her, threatens to leave, takes resources without ever accepting less. Robyn came in with entitlement. She'd been married monogamously before and expected to live that way with Kody. And that's why I don't feel the same empathy for her. The destruction she caused this family is hard to ignore. I hate polygamy and the abuse it creates, sure, but I don't hate the women trapped in it. Robyn? That's different. She's a con artist. She didn't come for polygamy. She came for money. Ask anyone who knows Robyn, her family in Pinedale, friends of Preston Jessup. They'll tell you the same thing. She was after money and fame. Kody? He wanted a younger, thinner woman because, as a narcissist and sociopath, he was tired of his wives. And Robyn pretending money wasn't her motivation? That's nonsense. What frustrates me the most is that Kody and Robyn have never been held accountable. Never. We've watched crimes unfold on this show for years. Labor trafficking, sex trafficking, verbal abuse, and yet, nothing. And let's be real. There has been physical abuse in this family. The kids have talked about it. Kody throwing them in the air, hitting them in the mouth, smacking them, even using a closed fist. That's not discipline. That's 100% child abuse. Peyton has said his dad smacked him, even punched him in the face. And we've heard Kody himself brag about punching people in the mouth. It's part of what he does. We've also witnessed mortgage fraud, tax evasion, and all kinds of real estate schemes. Many reality TV stars have been held accountable for far less. Kody has moved from Utah to Nevada to Arizona, constantly avoiding the law. And even now, as a monogamist, the statutes of limitations for things like sex trafficking are either non-existent or long enough. Kody and Robyn could still be arrested today for mortgage fraud, tax evasion, labor trafficking, or worse, if the feds actually stepped in. The law is finally starting to recognize that women in polygamy aren't automatically above accountability. Adult women who enabled abuse or even participated in crimes are being charged. And while I'm glad to see some of them leaving these toxic situations, Kody and Robyn are not untouchable. I'm exhausted watching people turn a blind eye to what's happening here. I have empathy for those trapped by polygamy, but not for those who exploit it. Kody and Robyn have chosen to be on this show, abuse the children and wives, steal money, and then play the victim. Crimes committed in front of our eyes, and no one is held accountable. And let's talk about the ridiculous catfishing drama. Mary didn't cheat. Kody did. He had wives outside of marriage, fathered children out of wedlock, and then turned it around to accuse Mary of an affair. Robyn orchestrated that drama, manipulated Kody, and then played the benevolent wife who was protecting the family. It's absurd. Mary did nothing wrong. That's why I've been covering the show so closely. I'm not here to be a fan. I don't support the show, or Kody, or Robyn, or any of the wives. I report on it because I hate what polygamy does to people, and all of these adults are culpable to some degree. They all made bad choices and pulled their children into this mess. Every single kid has been affected by this reality TV circus, and yet, every single day in my comments, I'm told I'm not empathetic because I refuse to condone a pedophilia cult that abuses women and children in the name of God. Let me be clear. I never will. Now is the time for Kody and Robyn to be held accountable. And the best way for that to happen? For the federal government to finally do their job, charge them for the crimes they've blatantly committed in front of all of us. I understand why some of the women who left might not go to the authorities. They'd risk exposing themselves. Mary, Janelle, Christine, they all have reasons to stay quiet. But at some point, someone has to do the right thing. It's not me. I don't report people to the police or the feds. But I genuinely don't understand what the federal government or local law enforcement is doing, or why the kids weren't protected while this show was airing. Where was CPS? Kody and Robyn fled Utah to avoid scrutiny, then Nevada, and now they're in Arizona, splitting up, evading oversight. At some point, real accountability has to happen. And by that, I mean criminal accountability for Kody and Robyn. So, what do you think? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it insightful. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, besties. Bye for now.